What's up, my scallywags? This is Draco Backpack Sack 22 presenting for you my Plunder Patrol Runick deck profile post Photon Hypernova. This is a deck that I invented last format in the middle of Tier Lament format. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't as viable as it is now. I think with the release of Jord and with the implementation of the PHHY cards into the meta, all of a sudden this deck actually has a spot in a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, some of you might be questioning why play Plunder Patrol with the Runick cards. Hopefully I'll be able to answer those questions or those doubts that you might have in this video. I do want to say that I just got back from getting first place at my second locals in a row, back-to-back nights, going undefeated at Gamers Choice Case tournaments, winning my second box of Photon Hypernova, as well as getting 2 invites to the Gamers Choice Invitational March 19th. You guys should check it out, and one of the best locals in New York, undoubtedly. So yeah guys, let's get into the card by card. But before I do, if you guys do enjoy this deck profile, comment, like, subscribe, and if you want to be the best Runick Plunder Patrol player, contact me on Facebook and DM me. I can coach you on the side. I charge a $20 commission per hour, but I promise that I'll be able to get you up to snuff and teach you all the meta matchups, and it might be the difference between a 4-1 record and a 4-2 or 3-2 record. So I do think that it will actually help you. I will show you guys my side decks if you sign up for that. And yeah, but this will just be a basic bare bones deck profile. I will show a little combo at the end, so be sure to stick around for that. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So to start off with the monsters, I'm going to start off with 3 Whitebeard and 2 Golden Hair. Now, these are your 5 tuners that you want to play. One of these plus 2 Runick spells equals your full combo, which is the combo I'll show at the end. I think having 5 tuners total is all you need to consistently get this combo off turn 0. And if you don't, you can actually do this combo sort of in the grind game. So I do think that these lend itself well to the deck. I think that these are probably more broken than seeing like Sprite Blue or Sprite Jet with the Runick cards, because they're tuners. They get the card out of the extra monster zone. They don't lock you until you use their graveyard effects, so in which case you can chain Runicks, so you never really lock yourself out. So very good cards. And then for the rest of the Plunder Patrols, we play 2 Bluebeard, 2 Black Eyes. These are your extenders for the most part. This lets you pitch Runick cards and draw more cards, which is really important when you're unable to use certain Runick cards in your hand and you want to draw more cards. Helps you see your side deck more, and it's also part of the combo. Black Eyes, I do side one out from time to time, but having the second one does come up in the grind game against the more grindier matchups such as Labyrinth, and allows you to recur all your resources. And then 1 Redbeard, I don't like playing multiples of this card. It does come up sometimes, but usually when it comes up, it means that you're resolving your 2nd or 3rd Whitebeard, which in that case you should be winning the game. So the games that you lose because you don't have another Redbeard is almost an anomaly. It's almost always because you banished the first one off of a PHHY or something of the like. So yeah, these 10 are pretty good. So the only thing I would probably maybe consider changing is playing the 3rd Golden Hair, but I think that would be a little too cloggy for my liking, so I really want to stick it out with the 10 names. So then we play 2 Injury Requirements, 1 Shipyard, 1 Booty. Now these 2 cards are both good. Now you would probably play 3 of this in pure Plunder, and you'd probably play 1 to 2 of this in pure Plunder. However, these are both 1-ofs in my opinion. You don't want to start off with this. This is okay to start with, but it's not optimal. There was a game where I got shifted and I was able to use Shipyard to get my Bluebeard and just make Baguska and pass, and somehow that got me there against PHHY. So there are times where this is useful as another Plunder name. And then Booty obviously as a good grind game card, being able to get out all your ships against pesky decks that either summon wins or don't give you desirable attributes. I think this is very important. And you want to have 2 targets for Moark, because you're going to be resolving Moark at least twice in a game, and you want to keep that you want to keep that you want to replenish your resources as far as Plunder names go, because they can be kind of annoying to get once you've exasperated all of your resources. So just 2 names. You can side out 1, but I've really missed Booty by siding it out going 2nd, so I suggest not. Then we play 18 Runick quick play spells and the 2 field spells, so 20 Runick spells, and it's very simple. We play Triple Tip. This searches you any Runick card. Triple Freezing Curses. This negates any effect. Triple Flashing Fire destroys a special limited monster. Triple Runick Destruction destroys a spell or trap. triple Runick Slumber. Now this one is my favorite one because it stops opponents from attacking. It also stops cards from being destroyed by battle or card effects. So there is a lot of hidden value behind this card. Not only that, but it's a card that you can just target one of your own cards and resolve its effect. Turn 0, see what they're playing, bash the top 3, and then go accordingly. Yesterday at my first place finish, I was able to slumber round 1, and then see that they were playing a bunch of trap cards, and then instead of searching like Freezing Curses or Flashing Fire off tip, I searched Runick Destruction, and indeed they were playing Labyrinth. So Slumber gets you like free information. It's really broken. Then we play the trio of one-ofs. We play 1 Dispelling, 1 Smiting Storm. Now, these took convincing because I like Dispelling. I wasn't sure about Smiting Storm. It seemed like a card that just didn't really do anything until I lost to a Runick stun player on Dueling Book, and he kind of taught me the value of this card, so shout out to him. And then when I put it in, I have beaten all decks that have played Runick, and usually they don't play it. So, and then the card that took extra convincing was Runick Golden Droplets. This was the 18th card, the 18th of the 18 to join the group. This is probably the worst effect that you could possibly have. However, what it is really good at is it's a first effect that you can use on your first turn if you're desperate to draw 3. However, at the end of the day, it's just another name, guys. You're gonna just use the effect to special summon. You're never really gonna be using the first effect. And if you do use the first effect, it locks them out of using Prosperity, and B, it gets 5 cards out of their deck. So it does have some hidden value, although you're probably always going to be using the second effect of this card. And then to round out the Runicks, we have 2 Field Spell and Double Fountain. I've never missed the third. I've never really cited out 1. 2 is the perfect amount. There are some times where you actually do need to pitch a where you Lava Golem or you Denko your opponent, games 2 and 3, and you need to just get a Plunder on board. And sometimes the only way to do that is to make sure you have a second copy to resolve a second Hugin to discard a Whitebeard. It's a very complicated game state, but the second does come up. So that is it for the Runick cards. Again, 20 Runick cards. It's essentially 20 Runick cards, 12 Plunder Patrol cards, 12 Plunder Patrol cards, and 8 Flex Spot. Then we get into our non-engine cards, reactive lowering cards. Of course, all the Runicks are pretty much reactive lowering cards. But then on top of that, we play triple Nibiru. This card is a necessary evil right now because you want to A, draw into a card that clears the board in case they do out your field, and B, it's a card that is it's a necessary threat against Kashchira, and you want to create binary decisions. So triple Nibiru is needed, and it's been really good so far. Double Ash Blossom. So the first tournament I went undefeated at, I played Torrential, and it was so-so. I also didn't play Golden Droplet, so that was really the only difference in the main deck, is that I didn't play Golden Droplet, and I didn't play 2 Ash in the main deck. I sided Ash, and Torrential was so-so, and Ash was broken when I sided it in. So 5 hand traps total, and then for the only proactive lowering card in the deck, probably the best card in the deck, triple Rivalry. Now, Rivalry is good. Obviously, you can't summon your Runicks if you have Plunders on the board, so that's something to note. However, giving your opponent a token with Jord and then flipping Rivalry, if they're not on Labyrinth, they pretty much lose. So this is quite strong against any deck. And then even if you don't give them a token, this card is okay going second, so it definitely warrants its spot. So that's it for the deck. 40 cards, main deck. And now we're going to go into the extra deck. Now, unfortunately, you do have to play triple Hugin. You can get away with 2, but triple comes up way too much. If you do the Coral Dragon combo, which again I will be showing shortly, it does exasperate 2 of these, and you want 1 to protect in the grind game if it does come up. So I find 3 Hugin to be very necessary. 1 Jerry. This card is broken. Going second, just go into your battle phase right away before you activate any Runick cards. Activating like any Runick spell, specialness attack, crash a card, pop a card. It's just really broken. Basically, any card in your deck is Diamond Direwolf. It's also really good to just make rank 4s and level 8 synchros, which tend to be the best cards in the game. So yeah, Jerry's really broken. And then the last 2 fusions are, of course, 2 lists. Lists you make way more. Even though you don't play shipping or the emblem, you're going to see this way more with Jord, Calling Light with your tokens, and this card's really good. And then for the synchros, we play 3. We play 1 Coral Dragon for the combo, 1 Bran, and 1 Jord. So another difference between my 2 first place finishes are that the first tournament, I played 2 Jord under the fear that they would hit Diabolos. They would hit it with Diabolos. However, I learned very quickly that they are always going to hit Baguska. So I never really feared losing the second Jord, and it just doesn't really come up naturally. So I just played 1 because I missed the third Blackbeard, which is what I cut the first tournament. So yeah, 3 Synchros, and then 3 Xyz monsters as well with double Moark and 1 Baguska. Baguska is very good. It is probably the prime target to hit off Diabolos and Unicorn. However, it just allows you to make a play under Shifter, and usually the decks that play Shifter just lose to this card. So you put them on Shifter, Imperm, Starter. So yeah, I think it's just a very good card. Probably the best rank 4 right now. And then the final 3 cards are triple Blackbeard. So these cards are broken. Obviously, being able to draw more cards, why would you not want that in your extra deck? Really good. So anyway, guys, yeah, that's the deck. So really bare bones. Didn't really change too much other than the inclusion of Jord and Coral Dragon. And then the main deck just changed because of the meta. So very similar to my first deck profile that I premiered on MSO Angry's channel. Now, with that said, there are some new combos, so let's get into that. Alright guys, so getting into the combo, this is technically now a 4-card combo. However, 2 of the cards have to be any 2 different Runick spells, and the other card has to be either a Whitebeard or a Golden Hair, and then lastly you just have a discard. So a very common 4-card combo. This actually happened 4 out of the 5 rounds in my first locals, and 2 out of the 5 rounds in my second locals. So it happened 6 times over 10 rounds, and I went 9-0-1 in those 10 rounds. So this is definitely a combo that you want to do. This is kind of similar to what Dinkabui did with a Runick Naturia deck. I think that this landed itself a little bit better to the format just because of the plunder token lock. So yeah, let's just get into it. So in this combo, you're going to be drawing like 5 to 7 cards if you include on your opponent's turn. Yeah, it's really good. So let's get into it. So here we're going to start off with either of these. We're going to just use Smiting Storm to special summon a Hugin. So here's the Hugin up here, and we're going to use its effect to discard Nibiru, and we're going to search our Runick Fountain. So we're going to activate Fountain, and we're going to normal summon Whitebeard, and then we're going to synchro summon into our Coral Dragon. Now here we're going to activate Chainlink 1 Whitebeard. Now if Whitebeard resolves, it actually locks you into Plunder Patrol monsters for the rest of the turn. So we're actually going to chain our second Runick spell to special our second copy of Hugin. So as you can see, we've exhausted our Hugins very quickly. And now if, as this will resolve, you will special a Bluebeard from the deck. And in a new chain link, you're going to activate Fountain. If you don't have any more Runicks left, then you can go ahead and put back your 2 Runicks. If you have a third Runick and you want to use it, you can use it to draw an extra card. But in the end, you're just going to just have the same number of cards. So now we're going to draw 2. Okay, so we drew into Booty and Nibiru. And now we're going to synchro our Coral Dragon and our Hugin. And we're going to go into the brand new Plunder Patrol Jord. Now, off of Coral Dragon, we will draw a 3rd card. And it tends to be another Nibiru. That's fine. I didn't really shuffle the deck, so that's probably why. And now we're going to go with Jord to activate its effect. And we're going to put it to the pendulum scale and target a Whitebeard in our hand to return it. And now we're going to use the second effect with Jord, calling Light, to give them a token and ourselves a token. So we're going to have a token here and a token on their side of the field. Again, we're calling Light. If we know they're on Labyrinth, then you can call Fire just to be able to have another backer removal. So now we're going to link off the token and the Bluebeard, and we're going to go into our Blackbeard. So Bluebeard can activate here. So we can, if we drew a Runick, pitch a card. Say here we have a second Nibiru, so we'll draw another card. And we drew into Ash, so whatever. And now we can activate Blackbeard. And we're going to tag out into what they control. So it's because they have a light token, we can summon our lists. And guess what? We're going to draw another card. So here we've drawn 5 new cards from our deck. Also putting back Runick cards to the bottom of the deck and getting through 2 Plunder cards from our main deck. So we have a higher chance of seeing non-engine cards and yeah, that tends to win games. So here we can set on any Runicks that we might have, or any non-engines, and then on our opponent's turn, what's really nice is this is in defense, so they can't go into attack and then just crash. If we feel that we want another card, we can use Lys's effect during the main phase to special this back, and then Blackbeard can tag out into whatever they have. If they only still have the token, then we can just summon a second copy of Lys. So, and then guess what? We're going to draw another card. So this is essentially seeing 6 new cards. I guess if you have Tip, then you will see 7 new cards. And yeah, that's a lot of cards. So it's a little bit different with with golden hair, but the lines are still very similar. So yeah, that's the combo, and every time I did this combo, I drew into enough interruptions, whether it be through the Runicks, through the Plunder Patrols, or through hand traps or floodgates, that I was able to stun my opponent outright. In most matchups against Kashtira, the token is actually just hard enough for them to deal with. There was one Kashtira player who was on the Kuraz, the Monarch, to actually pop itself to draw a card, and both times he did it, I Freezing Curse negated it, and he lost. So, yeah, overall, the deck performs really well. Hope to see more from this deck coming up. I'm going to definitely take it to a couple more locals, and hopefully at regionals pretty soon. I hope to make it to Connecticut regionals, but if not, I'm definitely going to give you guys some more updates on this deck. So, without further ado, this has been Draco Backpack Sack 22, signing off. Peace.